it is possible to enjoy sourcement more after kids.
Yeah.
Even if you are a 1 minute dude.
Stop.
All right?
Hello guys, karibuni tena sana. We said this 2023 guys, we are dishing out content. And you've watched what you've watched for this year, and now we want to talk about, as in, we decided to be practical guys. This time around, we decided to be practical, the things that we deal with.
Haven't we always been?
We have been practical.
Oh. No, we want to be more practical.
More practical. What
Okay.
we've been sharing a lot of is principles. Now we want to come into
make it applicable.
Applicable, you know. As you've seen the topic, we're talking about sourcement here, you know, and
we are using the word sourcement
because of this
YouTube
thing algorithm.
called YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
When you use certain words, YouTube says, no, this video cannot be monetized.
Yeah.
And you know us, we are serious about those ads.
You want those monies.
So first of all, before you continue, do not skip the ad. Secondly, sourcement is, if you know, you know. Let those who have ears.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a question that we got on Instagram, and how do you have a healthy sourcement relationship after children? Guys, if you have children, you know how they just turn your life upside down the first few months, particularly the first 4 months. For us, again, it's our own experience here.
Yeah.
It's our way of doing things. We are sharing our own opinion. If you had a smooth ride, praise the Lord. That's your own experience. For us, we're also sharing from our own. How it took us, the time it took us for us to adjust.
So you must find what will work for you.
Yes, we must find what will work
for you. Don't go and say,
you.
you know, Soila and Kati said it is.
At 4 months, they were ready. And you are taking 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, or for me, at 1 month, you're ready. And you're like, I have to wait for, no, don't have to wait for 4 months, you know. So that's what you're trying to put across. Those are the disclaimers. But healthy sourcement life after children. First of all, children throw you off guard completely once you give birth. And sourcement is the last thing in your mind.
Especially for the woman.
Especially for the woman. Because your body, giving birth is like going through a trauma. No matter the style, not the style.
Whether it's CS,
the form of birth
natural,
you went through. Yeah. Yes, whether it's natural, CS, whatever it is. It's still a form of trauma to your body. One, because your hormones are now all over the place trying to get a balance now that the baby is out. Secondly, you have a newborn baby you do not understand. They're also trying to learn you, understand this new world they're in. Sleeping patterns are off the charts, you know. There's breastfeeding, which is another thing that is different for different women, different experiences. For me, it was really tough beginning, and then you get the hang of it as you go ahead. So sourcement is really not such a priority at that particular time. And again, as women, the thought of just you have a husband who needs, you know, your attention. And when I say your attention and your intimacy, I don't mean sexual intimacy here. Because people have reduced men to just wanting the act. Like now you've given birth, you feel like you're denying your man the act. He's going to cheat on you. You see, he's not just an animal. You know, when we reduce a person to an animal, then we call it a carnal nature. It's an animalistic nature that they have no power to control their desires and their needs. So as women, that should probably not. And I mean, it also depends on the relationship you have with your husband. How has your sourcement life even been before the kids? Because if it was healthy, for sure, this moment will not really break so much of a healthy lifestyle that you've been having. If it was unhealthy, this moment here after giving birth can either break it now. So it's a matter of how has it been before birth and what are you guys going to pick up after the birth. So for me, sourcement is not just about the actual physical act. There are so many things that work together that lead us to that particular act. So if I feel that my husband is neglected in the area of the act, I just come in slowly. Is it staying together after? Because the whole day I smell like milk, you know, I have handled kids and all that. I'm assuming the guy works and then you are home, he's done with his paternity leave, he's not also smelling milk like you. Because there are those ones who also smell like milk in the house because of how they're helping in the diapers and all that. So when he comes home, he's not like coming from a place of so much chaos at work, coming home, there's also a lot of just an absentee partner. I think just put in a little effort to be able to meet his needs as well. Remember, your husband was there before this kid. Your marriage is as important. You know, you just now say, because we have a newborn, our marriage can wait, and then we focus on this baby. Your marriage can wait for forever, you guys. Because I'm saying the marriage is important. Your spouse is important. This newborn that came and found you. It's not that else coming and disrupting everything. Now your spouse is no longer important. Like now, because this baby is small and newborn, you think they need all attention and you have nothing left for your spouse. You still have to consider each other as important.
Yeah, being a parent doesn't it doesn't negate that now you're a husband or a wife. Alright?
It doesn't make you useless.
Yes.
Your role.
You're still somebody's wife.
Yes.
You're still somebody's husband.
Yes.
So you really need to figure out what wisdom do you need to be able to merge these two, so that you are not so much of a parent you forgot to be somebody's spouse.
Yeah.
Or you're also not so much of a spouse you forgot that you're somebody's parent. So you really need capacity, you really need wisdom.
Oh, there's a lot of wisdom because I know for me it had to be an intentional thinking process. I know for sure, Soila, you have been roughed up by your baby, but I have seen my husband. He's worked so hard, he's come home. There's that place also, a man that needs to find a safe space to offload the things that he's gone through. When you meet the evening after the babies have gone to sleep, when you're offloading your frustrations with the kid or your happy moments with the child, he also needs to offload his happy moments and tough times at work. You also have to be at a healthy place whereby you can be able to support and supply to each other. And if you think it's not possible for us where we are, can we have a third party to help us process the different emotions? Because we are both at our peaks. My work is crazy, your fatherhood is crazy, and again, motherhood is crazy. I'm also thinking, yes, I'm a mother, I'm on maternity leave. He is a father, he took his 2-week leave and then he's gone back. Remember, the baby is just 2 weeks. So he's expected to perform 100% as a father, as a husband, and 100% at work. If anything, the load feels a bit more heavier on this side because mentally the guy has to be in a place, okay, me, I'm talking to women. You figure out how to just create the entire balance. But what I'm trying to say or put across is we have to intentionally think about our husbands. It's so easy for you to put him at the back of your mind because of
he's a grown-up,
he can sort himself out. But you have to, but then you guys, these thoughts used to come to me when I'm even breastfeeding. I'm in bed, still wearing my big diapers because you're still bleeding. And I'm actually thinking, I know my husband still has needs. How can I best, ensure that he feels loved and accepted? Could it be him coming and ensure there's porridge in the house? I may not have made the porridge, but I've ensured the nanny has prepared. There's porridge. Once the guy comes to the house, there's something hot for him to take as he relaxes. Give him time to decompress first before, umekuja chukua mtoto wako. There are days I did that for sure. I'm not an angel. There are days I did that. There are days I failed at loving him as my husband. But again, I went back to asking God, I need counsel. And I need wisdom to know how to supply both to myself as a woman, to my babies, to this household that still needs me, and to a husband that you gave to me. I prayed for him. We did a wedding together. We were living in bliss before the children. How do we still maintain this thing? So when for you to, and I know Curtis will touch more on this, but for you to enjoy a healthy sourcement life, all these things must be sort of kinda in place so that it's a fulfillment of the hard work you guys have been putting together to ensure your marriage is standing. It's not just an act of escapism from different things that you don't want to deal with. It will just be reduced to an action, and that's it. Tomorrow you'll still be void. Go.
For me, I'll tie it into before we got married. Society has taught us that for you to enjoy good sourcement, you have to have certain sizes of body parts. All right? If you're a man, you need to be this big or this small or whatever. If it's a woman, her body parts need to be this big or this shaped or this curved. So our perception of good sourcement life was based on superficiality. How do both of you look? You know? The other lie is it must be an all night long. I remember the song you used to sing. Like if you can pull it off the whole night, you guys are the OGs. You are enjoying sourcement to the limit. You know, to the no limit. I don't think
there's no limit.
Like the sky is your limit in this thing. You are doing it all night long. Now, first of all, that's a lie. Your body cannot allow you to do that. All right, those are movies. Those are romantic songs. You cannot do it all night non-stop. But what I learned when we got married is that the best way, what really gives you satisfaction in sourcement is how you guys have been able to connect emotionally, how you've been able to connect psychologically, how you've been able to connect even physically, non-romantic kind of connection. Just, you can connect to somebody physically, but it's not
sensual.
Yes. You can connect with somebody physically in a non-sensual way, but you've really connected. So the best way to enjoy sourcement is that by the time you guys are engaging in the act, by the time you guys are making love, emotionally you've connected at such a level, psychologically you've connected, spiritually you've connected, and physically, non-sensual you've connected. So that by the time the act is, you're engaging in the act.
Yeah.
Even if it is 1 minute, even if you're a 1 minute dude.
Stop.
All right?
Stop it.
The connection that you've had on these other levels is so potent that this engagement here feels like a cherry on top. It doesn't become the main thing.
Yeah.
It just becomes an addition to the connection and the love that you guys have already had outside the sourcement act. All right? Yeah. So that means that now you've gotten babies. Your wife is there nursing her wounds.
Her body's changed.
She's dealing with all the hormones. She's trying to come back to herself and all that. Your focus as a man is not on her now and when will she get healed. I need to get this thing on. I'm raging with needs and blah blah blah. Those things men say. Your focus is on how can I connect with my wife? How can I enter into her world? She's now a new mom. How can I enter that world and emotionally connect with her and be there with her? Emotionally, psychologically, spiritually connect with her at that level. Because the moment you guys are on par, the moment your connection is on the same level, you will be able to have the patience that is required as she goes through the healing.
True.
The reason one person is so needy for this thing and the other person is out there is because you are out of sync. You're out of sync in connection. The moment you become connected and you're on the same level, you will discover that even if it takes 3 months or 4 months, you will both wait. And as a man, you will not even be like, hiya.
I have actually, yes.
You'll be like, hiya. It's been 4 months and I've not felt like this thing is, I'm desperate to engage in this thing. Because you are in sync with her. You are connected with her in all those levels. So it's not an issue whereby one person wants, the other person doesn't want. So she has to sacrifice her body, her health just to satisfy you, which is very unfair. So what I would really say is, as a man, focus, how can you connect with her on all those other levels?
Yeah.
Because the best satisfaction of sourcement is not the act. It's these other things.
It's funny you say that
make up who we are.
Because it has just brought me to a session that I had last year with women on intimacy and how sourcement is not same as intimacy. People use them interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. Intimacy is everything that Curtis was saying. You are connected on many other levels. There is intellectual intimacy. There is psychological intimacy. There is spiritual intimacy. There is emotional intimacy. And then there's a physical intimacy. And even the physical intimacy does not mean the sensual aspect of physical intimacy. Yeah. As holding hands or even like just saying like it's non-sensual. We're just intimately connecting. Yes, there's the physical connection. So the intimacy aspect of life is still ongoing. You haven't dropped it off because of this new season of your life. The intimacy is still on. The only thing that has been taken out is the actual act of sourcement. So it does not feel like you have completely been robbed off of your entire life. If anything, this time you're just using it to build further on your intimate, the same way you used to say in dating, apart from the sourcement, you know, how else can we
have fun? How can we enjoy
How can we
thing?
enjoy this thing? It's now that period again in the marriage season. Like, apart from this act, how else can I connect to you as my spouse? How else do I make it you feel important, I feel important? You know, like simple, small thoughts of each other in the midst of the chaos of new motherhood and new fatherhood. Could be, you know, I was thinking the same way you'd wake up in the morning and plan for the child, you know, at this time you're sleeping, you're showering, you're feeding, you're changing your diaper, and you're going down for sleep. Also for you, at this particular time when you'll be sleeping, I am going to be showering, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to attend to this, I'm going to call 1, 2, 3, 4, and all that. In all your plans, plan your spouse in it. You know, when the baby has done this, I'm going to intentionally call my husband. Or I'm going to intentionally call my wife in the middle of my work. How are you doing? How is everything? I'm going to intentionally think of buying her flowers when I'm heading home. I'm going to intentionally ensure that after babies have gone to sleep and I'm tired, I can spare 15 minutes to just sit down when the house is quiet and everything and just understand and talk out the day with my husband. And that's just a level of connectivity that you never knew you can be able to, you know, to build on and build intimacy. But the time elapses and it's time for like the actually the act itself now will just come naturally. There won't be struggle. There won't be, oh, how was I supposed to, or how are we holding each other? You know, it just comes. It's an easy flow into what was there. If anything, it's a healthier relationship that you used to have. I'm telling you, Curtis, I think even our sourcement life has become healthier than what it was,
about to say
after
that.
children.
You know, there's this perception that after children, sourcement is never the same. It deteriorates. I can tell you, take this to the bank. I'm telling you this with my eyes.
Experience.
No, I've heard this from a number of people. It's not the popular opinion, but I've heard this from enough people. It is possible to enjoy sourcement more after kids. Don't listen to whatever, you know. I think there are people who just put stuff out there to discourage people from having children or to discourage.
For sure,
but I can tell you from experience and from listening to other people, it is possible to enjoy sourcement more than you enjoyed it before kids came. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.